What are you going to do after a disaster when all the grocery store shelves are empty? It's going to be hard finding food after a hurricane or flooding or looting, particularly in very densely populated areas. I recommend setting aside a food supply that will last you for a couple days, maybe even weeks or months. In this video, we're going to talk about long-term storage of an emergency food supply using Mylar bags and a vacuum sealer. The required items are food, a vacuum sealer, Mylar bags, oxygen absorbers, and an air channel device. The reason why we use Mylar bags is because they do not allow light or oxygen to get to the food. Both of those things will spoil the food over time. That's also why we use oxygen absorbers. They will absorb all the oxygen that's already inside the bag when we seal it. Make sure that the oxygen absorbers are soft and powdery, not hard and crunchy. If they're hard and crunchy, they've already been used up and they're worthless. As for an air channel device, we're going to have to make this in the next step. Inside a normal food saver bag is a textured surface. That textured surface is filled with little air channels that allow air to be sucked out of the bag. Unfortunately, Mylar bags do not have air channels, and therefore we need this little air channel device to allow air to be sucked out. In this video, I'm going to make it out of a small piece of plastic, but I think you could make it out of other things like taped together coffee straws. Really anything that will allow air to pass between the rubber gasket inside the vacuum sealer. To make the air channel device, we're going to take a thin piece of plastic and cut it so that it fits in the top of a Mylar bag. Then we're going to cut it so it's only about 1.5 inches in thickness. Next, we're going to take an X-Acto knife and score both sides of the plastic. This will make small air channels. When you're ready to seal the bag, insert the air channel plastic into the Mylar bag and place the bag inside the vacuum sealer so that the plastic is pinched between the rubber seal of the vacuum sealer. This will allow air to be sucked out through the air channels rather than getting pinched by the rubber gasket. We're ready to vacuum seal our food. I have here the food saver, some Mylar bags, and oxygen absorbers, very important, and of course the food that we're going to be storing. We're going to first take our food and put it in the Mylar bags. Just dump it all in there. Halfway through, put an oxygen absorber in there. Now we're going to take the small piece of plastic that we made earlier, stick it in the top of the Mylar bag for the air channels, and then place the plastic in the bag inside the grease bin of the food saver. And then close her up and start to seal. When it's done sealing, we're going to take the bag and further seal it using an actual hot iron. The last step is to get a marker and write down what's inside the bag and the date that we stored it. When you're done with all your bags, you can put them in a 5-gallon bucket or another container where they're safe. Put them in a closet where it's cold and dark, and you're done. Now you have an emergency food supply. When you're ready to use your emergency food supply, you will also need a way to cook it that does not rely on electricity. I suggest a small propane stove. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and take care.